Alright guys, let me give you some backstory before we get into this. So this room was created specifically for this show. It's called Today We Play, where we're gonna sit down with some people making big moves, doing the things they love, and get to know how they're getting started on their journey.
And then I started writing comedy, but I never even a thought of doing it in front of people.
While we do that, we're supposed to play some video games and just reflect on the games that we used to play as kids. I love you guys. Hope you enjoy. Today, our guest is Andrew, a.k.a. Cool Hand Drew.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stand-up comedian. He makes comedic content overall on the internet. One of the pioneers, I want to say, or spearheads of the comedic scene in South Jersey, because I've never heard of any stand-up comedy going on around here. So, so this dude's doing a lot of good stuff for the area, and we're going to just get to know him better while we play fucking 007, GoldenEye.
It's the staple, dude.
Yeah, so this game, I remember when I was a kid, this being my favorite game. Like, I thought this was the shit.
Dude, it was insane. I think it was between this and like Mortal Kombat, like when you had family over, and it was like multiplayer. We're trying to wreck each other's shit.
Right.
If you lose, give up the controller. Or Mario Kart was another big one. Definitely, for sure.
Yo, I know that Mortal Kombat you had to play 2-player because you trying to fight the computer.
Oh, God.
You get fucked up.
I don't know anybody that actually knows. That's a lie. I know one person that knows the moves from the game.
For real?
My rest of my family, we just pressing buttons, dude.
Yeah, right. Anybody who knows the moves, I don't fuck with them as a person.
I don't know what I just started, but we're going to get into it.
All right, cool. See, it just looks like dark.
It's crazy.
Like, I don't know what we did when we were kids. How the fuck did we... I guess that's why we sat up so close. But, all right, so let's start with like the inception of the whole comedy idea. Like, did that happen when you were a kid or like a teenager?
So I would say when, holy shit, this is weird. I need to turn my movement up. Okay, that shoots. All right.
Can you do sensitivity in
Dude, am I supposed to shoot this guy?
Yeah. He's a bad guy for sure.
Oh. Hey, yo. I'm Joe over here. It started, honestly, late teens, like into my 20s.
Okay.
I started writing some stuff. I was never like, huge into comedy when I was young. I just wasn't exposed to it. Nobody in my family really, was big on.
Okay.
I'm doing here, bro. This is crazy. We used to watch some TV shows and stuff like that. And I think my first exposure to it was like Chappelle's Show. Honestly, I think it was a lot of people's thing.
Okay.
And I was just like, this is great. Like, this guy is fucking hilarious.
And how old are you?
I'm 33. 34.
Okay.
Jeez. I'm old enough to forget how old I am.
Okay. So, all right. So I guess I was going to ask if like it was a thing in your household growing up, like sitting down watching comedy. And
it wasn't. It wasn't a thing. Like, nobody in my family really watched comedy or anything like that. I'm about to die, dude. I don't even know what's going. Yeah, bro. Let me reload real quick.
One shot to the heart.
Got him, dude. Nobody in my family really watched comedy. I have a bunch of smart asses in my family, man. It was always ball busting. And I think that's kind of how it started. Like, between watching Chappelle's Show, that, and then I started writing comedy, but would never even a thought of doing it in front of people. It was just like an idea. It was a concept. And I had like a couple of friends that I would read jokes to.
Okay. So you were writing jokes.
Yeah, I was trying.
Like stories, jokes. Yeah,
premises, a lot of that stuff. And I can't tell you how many times I just went through and I was like, all of this shit is corny, and I just deleted all of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, but I feel like it's like once you sit with it for too long.
It's just part of the growth, man.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to learn and sometimes I say I wish I could have some of that stuff back because I don't remember like any of it. But at the same time, it's like when you grow, your jokes grow. The direction you're going with them grows. You know what I mean? The way you write, all of that stuff.
Right. It's funny that you say like, like in your family you had smart asses. People like I guess like you guys would roast each other, shit like that. My very first impression of you.
Oh, jeez.
This is the first time I ever like saw you. I saw you on Facebook. And you fucked my girl. It's like, no, I'm just kidding. No. No, but
God damn.
no, you were. There was somebody like
It's
roasting.
like shit, not again.
It seems like you would be in that situation. Nah, somebody was roasting another person in comments, and I'll blank out what you said because I don't know if I'll get flagged for YouTube. But you told the person, which is your friend, you told him you look like a.
Yo, I forgot about that. Dude, what? Oh, what post was that?
See, I know that he was calling out people like he would roast them, and then you came in and shut him down.
Dude, so I guess like the roasting stuff, that's kind of where I just died.
I'll try.
Yeah, go ahead. This is fun. That's kind of where it starts. So I was big in the car scene. And like when Facebook came out and started to get big, and then when like Facebook groups, it was just trolling people like nonstop. Like that was like the thing. I would say that's where it kind of started because, you know, Facebook is you got time to sit with it a little bit,
right,
and come up with the joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so I think that's when I kind of started writing, was like from that. It was around the same time where I started writing jokes, like notes and stuff like that. And so, but that's hilarious that you said that, dude. I remember writing that joke,
Really?
dude. Yeah, I do.
See, that's like
Because
I
dude, when I wrote it, it was just like I knew. I was like, dude, I dropped this comment. Like this is killer. This is it.
Yeah,
You couldn't
that's
even
funny
do
as
that now.
hell.
I couldn't even
Holy
drop
shit.
that comment now, bro.
Yeah, right?
I can't.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna censor it.
Dude, you know, the roasting shit's like, you're talking back of the school bus days,
Yeah.
lunch table. Like I was a tiny kid, man. Like I didn't grow like
Okay.
height until I was like my junior year. So like, bro, I just had to be funny. I wasn't
Right.
trying to fight nobody, bro. Like,
Yeah, I
but
feel
you
you.
got to be funny, but you got to kind of stand your ground with it.
That's the worst part about being funny, though, because motherfuckers get
It's
mad.
bro, it's a you playing a line, bro. You're
Yeah.
playing the line.
Just,
That's crazy.
What was it when you went from, like, you know, let me try some open mics to, all right, let me like, because I remember you were like, I'm leaving my job, you know, I'm getting
Yeah,
this
yeah.
van. Like, what was that like a conversation you had with friends? Was that like you just
Yeah, so I had started comedy right before the pandemic.
okay?
Just to give you like a brief to now, I started comedy right like my first open mic. I had this terrible day. Some girl just broke my heart. Like work was crazy, like all this stuff. So I'm out with my buddy. And he's one of the only people I've ever read any of my jokes to.
Okay.
And he's like, dude, you got to hit a mic. Like, you got to switch your life up. You got to do something different. So I'm like, okay. So I just so happened that I knew an open mic that was happening right around the corner. We was in Turnersville, and it was the open mic that I ended up running.
Okay.
But I kind of fell into that. So
What's that place called again?
Miss Seeley's Blues.
Okay.
The next notable thing that happened to me, like to kind of give the progression of what got me to start running shows and just taking it more seriously, I after they started doing open mics again, you know, when things started opening up a little bit, still capacity low, whatever, I did an open mic competition. And
all right.
it was crazy because like, dude, I was in a bad way, man. Like I wasn't working for my dad anymore.
Right.
I you know, I was paying for this apartment by myself. I'm doing all this stuff like. And, dude, it's like right around Christmas time. I didn't have money to buy my nieces presents, bro. So I go do this open mic competition, and I end up winning it. I won $200 at this thing, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So I won this open mic competition, and I had posted about it. And a good friend of mine, Angel Santiago, he's from Vineland.
Okay, I think I know.
He used to be the lead singer for Days Like These back in the
Oh,
day,
okay,
playing
okay,
shows
yeah,
and
I do
stuff.
know him, yeah.
He hit me up, and honestly, this comment that he made, like this message he sent me, will stick with me forever. He told me, he's like, he said, I just want you to know, you know, things might get tough, this and that. He says, you wouldn't believe how long it took me to make $50 making music. And this is a guy who, you know, was signed. And at the time they had, you know, when they were big, they had a music video on TRL. So I'm like, and that's my boy. And he's telling me this. And I was like, damn, like maybe I do have some, you know, at that time it was just me reading jokes on stage. Never really thought anything of it. And when he made that comment, I was like, oh, I should stick with this. Then I had met Marcos, who I ended up doing open mics and stuff with, but I was riding with him. He was giving me rides to open mic, like this and that. And he was living in his van at the time. And I was like, dude, this is what I need to do. Because I know myself, man. Like, I can hit open mics and this and that, but, like, I like to drink, dude. So it's like, I can't be driving to open mics in Philly and Baltimore and driving home. I'm like, I need a place to, like, I got to be able to stay somewhere. So, dude, within like a month of knowing him, I, like, got the money together. I bought a van. I was staying at my other buddy's house. He was helping me convert it. Rich, who's the one that took me to the first open mic.
Okay.
And I'm gutting the van. I'm getting this all ready. And we kind of, just through going to the open mics, excuse me, we had done a music festival, which was a crazy fucking thing just to even...
You did stand up at a music festival? Or?
No, I just hosted it.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of what I was doing for a while was hosting events, which is still like doing stand up. You know what I mean? It's just more crowd work. I got to keep the crowd engaged. You know what I mean? So I think that definitely helped my stand up in that aspect because I'm used to interacting with the crowd. I don't care if people heckle me. That shit, you know what I mean? We'll go right back and forth. Then it goes back to the roast and stuff like that. Shit don't bother me. But I was hosting these events for a while. And we did this music festival we put together in like a month and a half. It was in like Buna area. We had like 6 artists. It was dope, dude. Like maybe 100 people turn out. Nothing crazy, but it was like a whole day. And
that's actually really good,
bro. It was so much fun. And I was just like, dude, I want to keep doing this kind of shit. So we started doing open mics. That kind of fell into our lap. We were doing open mics there, and then we had the one in Vineland for a little while, and then. We start putting on some comedy shows, and I'm like, this is, oh dang, dog got a sniper in
bro. This sniper is ass. Look.
How do you not even go in the scope? What is this?
Yeah. Right. Yo, come on. They couldn't think about that.
That's wild, dude. It's like over top of the scope. You're looking.
They're like, this nigga don't know what he's doing.
It's crazy, dude.
We were probably like, look how close we get.
This shit looks real.
Yeah.
So I started doing the mics. We put on a couple. We put on our first comedy show, and it was like this big production thing. And I was like, it felt good. It was a good show, but I was like, it's just too much. You know what I mean? Like it needs to be simple.
Right.
So when we.
Oh, I feel you. Okay.
So this is where it kind of comes full circle. So when we start revisiting this comedy show idea, we're in the car and we're like talking about it, like what do we want? And I'm like, dude, it's like I don't need any of this stuff. I'm like, it's just a comedy show, like that's all it is. And we just keep saying it.
Oh.
And then Therese, who was rocking with us at the time, she's like, that's it. It's just a comedy show. So that's what we ran with for the name.
Okay.
So like, it's so funny because people will ask me, they're like, oh, is there food there? I'm like, dude, read the name.
Yeah.
It's just the comedy show.
Yeah,
That's it. Like you come in here for it's just pure,
that makes sense now.
bro,
The name.
it's pure comedy, bro. That's it. Like you show it's BYOB. Honestly, within like the last 2 months, I had like this epiphany where I'm like, somebody that's touched this stage, whether it could be me, it's gonna be one of these other comedians, whatever. In a couple of years, people are gonna be like, dude, I saw him in Turnersville on this small stage in this real like intimate setting. And once I had that, like, anytime you do events, anytime you do anything, like, you always doubt yourself. And once I had that epiphany, I was like, nah, dude, like I need to keep doing this. One for me because I love it, and two for South Jersey. Like you said, there's not a lot of comedy stuff going on, and one of my boys through the comedy scene, Matt Peoples, John Montag, Paul Carson, they run another open mic up in Haddonfield,
right.
And now they're starting to do shows. And I talk with them, and I'm like, bro, I don't ever want you to think that I'm like trying to compete with you, because there's no competition. There's room for everybody.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, if we bring attention to there is comedy going on in South Jersey, it's gonna help everybody.
Yeah. And it's like. It's hard to do because we don't live in an area that's like, like Philly, where they're more cultured, like they respect that kind of stuff.
Yep. Yeah, it's tough, and I'm trying to build it.
You do it weekly, right?
I do. So we do it every second and fourth Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna start doing like a bar series of comedy shows. Comedians are weird with just comedy in general is weird with rooms, like what works and what doesn't.
Okay.
You'll see comedy in bars and things like that, but it's when you have a room that's like the venue that we have is like it's in a plaza, so it's a long room, but the stage is in the middle and there's tables around.
Okay.
So like when you have that kind of intimacy where you're here, the laughs, it feels better.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if I'm doing comedy at a bar and I'm standing on stage, but there's the next closest seat is at the bar, there's just this space is disconnect. Like I don't know what it is, but sometimes a joke will die from here to there.
I know exactly.
And it's like, and it's crazy. So I'm gonna try some at bars, but like it's got to be different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I can't approach it with the same like just a comedy show mentality because now that we're serving alcohol, there's gonna be food there.
There's
You
distractions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to keep people's attention. So at just a comedy show, I try to I do jokes and I do some crowd work and things like that to keep things rolling. But generally I try to keep the attention. Just like, hey, we're going comedian to comedian. This one's going to have to be a little bit more of a production. We're going to have a little bit more music playing in the intermissions, giving people time to get drinks, messing with the bartenders, shouting out that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you got to you gotta read this dude just beat he's like, I don't even play this. He beat the level, man.
I'm seeing little stuff that I remember as a kid, like, figuring out. So I'm like, I saw those steps, and I'm like, I think you got to, like, bungee jump off this shit. I don't know if I just died.
Do you have this streaming to the...
Yeah.
What? That's crazy. Oh, that's dope. Dude, I didn't even know you could do that with something this old.
Yeah, bro.
That's wild.
I bought this, it's called the Retro Tink.
Okay.
And it's like you could like how you stream on Facebook, you could stream these old games, old
dude,
systems.
now I'm mad I sold this thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go come and get it back.
Yeah.
I just picked one up at Goodwill for like $60.
That's crazy,
see?
man. That's pretty cool. This is wild. Just like a
Yeah, I
flashback
know.
playing this shit.
And it's hard as fuck to do this and play the game. Like I'm trying to, but
I'm
let's get
terrible
some
at
of this.
multitasking.
Yeah,
I thought I could do it.
yeah,
like,
me too. But I have ADHD, so it's like
same,
fucking
dude.
with me. But so let's get some of this interview out the way, and then if we have time after, we'll just like play each other or whatever.
Because we feel the same way with what we do.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like what you say about the venue, whatever. It's for us. It's like table placement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where most people are gonna go.
Right. Yeah.
And how you set your table up.
We want to eventually hold events like conventions. So it's like all this stuff plays in, and people who watch our stuff, they want to do the same thing. A lot of them deal with have dreams within this realm.
I would say it's just a little tidbit of advice on that, and anybody that watches this. What got us started in doing the open mics? So I used to throw parties, and I would make money throwing parties when I was younger. But
Okay.
I would cultivate vibes, man. Like I would make sure like I'm inviting people that I know is like, oh, this is gonna be a good party, and like people knew like when I threw a party it was gonna be good because I just made sure things were right, not over controlling right. You just got to make sure that it just feels right. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the other thing that I would always do is when I would go to events, when I would go to other people's events, I don't necessarily look at everything they did right. I'm like, where could they have done better? And I don't necessarily like bring that up to them. I'm like, hey, you should have done this. I use it for personal things.
Exactly.
And it's just when you keep that in your mind, like when you go to any of your conventions that you go to, anything like that, and you're watching people set up tables, and you're just like, what don't I like about this?
Right.
And then do it better, bro. And just keep doing it better. At anything you do, just do that better, and people will respect. They won't have. I'm telling you, dude. When we do events, I've gone to almost like where we do an event and then somebody else does an event, and I could see that people were having a better time at ours, and they would even bring it up to like they have no fucking idea why. They just know it's better. And I'm like, that's all I need. I don't need it to be in your face. This is why it's so much better. I need the night to just go so perfectly that you're just like, damn, I had a fucking great time.
Right.
And that's it. I don't want you to think about all the stuff that I had to do behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you say you would do like specific things, so, like you would like place weed and cocaine on the.
like how we
not
do
cocaine.
chips.
It wouldn't be like Rolling Rock. It'd be like the rodeo.
No, we would. So I would, I mean, we're talking when I was younger, so it was like keg parties. But I would do like, dude, I would make sure I'm like, okay, you go to a house party and they're like, they got the fucking beer pong table in the middle of the kitchen and you can't really get around. And there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, let me set that up in the garage because like then that's its own space. I had speakers in the garage, and then inside the house I had a different sound system. So like inside the house you're just vibing and you're listening to this. You want to play beer pong and get rowdy, go out to the garage because you spill something out there, it don't matter. It's
Like you
concrete floor.
think like an event organizer,
Bro,
That's
and
how your brain
but I
works.
always have, and
Right.
that's the crazy thing, bro. Like, you do that and you set a standard, and people just kind of know what to expect when they come. I'll be honest, dude. When I was throwing parties when I was younger, I had very, very, very few problems at parties because we just set a standard for how you act at this party. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right. See, so that kind of helps you,
It was like the build up, dude.
right,
Yeah.
right. Because now you have a reputation, and like when I see whatever clips you share of you up on the stage, it feels like the people, like everybody feels at home.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know people, you're talking to people like as if you know them.
Yep.
So like all that helps out. That
I
shit
think you
sucks.
just have to. I think at the end of the day, you have to do what you're gonna do, and just keep doing it. It's like in comedy, we bomb, dude. Like bomb. It happens, bro.
And does it make you feel like shit?
It's terrible. It's the worst feeling ever. But when the highs vastly outweigh bombing, right? If I bomb in front of a room full of comedians, I don't really care. I'm literally just getting on stage to verbalize these jokes, to say them out loud, and throw the shit against the wall and see what sticks. And it's like, okay, now I can take this, and it shows when you go to, like, we were talking about rooms, like, you know, you go to different rooms, you different things work. I did an open mic on Thursday, and I go there, and it's like a mainly black room. I'm like one of like 3 white people there, which I fucking love. I'll tear that room up every time. I would rather perform in front of a room full of black people than white people. Like, white people are so fucking boring, dude. And the funny thing is like, if I like back to your question, if I make a joke that's like, that I know would fucking kill in a black room, but even it's a little racy, like this and that. If there's no black people in the room, the white people are like, I'm not allowed to laugh at this. I can't look around and find a black dude and see if this is okay for me to laugh at.
Right. So if they see a black person laughing, they're like,
yeah, dude, I swear, when you make a joke like that, everybody, they don't even realize they do it. They'll always be like this, and they'll just kind of like look over to see if he's laughing, and they're like, no, that shit is funny, right? They'll start like tapping him, like, right, yeah, dude, like.
It's like being white at a Drake concert.
Bro.
Say that word out loud.
Bro, it's like, but I've grown up very diverse my whole life. So I've been around, you know, different groups of people, Puerto Rican, Mexican, black, you know, Asian, like just all different groups of people. So I kind of know, you know, don't get me wrong, there's things that like used to fly when we were younger that doesn't fly now for sure.
You said you were in a car seat in violent. Oh, so you were around the Rican.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, he played Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know that when I was a young boy, I used to make a lot of like jokes about touching kids on the wieners.
Bro, so like I have bits about that, like, you know, about my trauma, like, but it's like people get like uncomfortable. I'm like, dude, this shit happened to me, dog.
Yeah,
like,
I'm making light of it.
I'm making a fucking joke about it. You can laugh.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
I feel
like,
you.
oh, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, yeah, imagine how I feel, motherfucker. Like,
so you do you have like, I want to know like who your inspirations are for like when you like, who do you listen to and feel like, yo, I gotta write some jokes?
I'll be honest, when I write them, I've worked on the road since I was 21. Like every job I've had, I've never been like just in one spot. I'm always have a job where I have to drive to different jobs and this and that. Almost all of my best thinking, I used to think like, oh, I got to listen to stuff for inspiration. All of my best thinking happens when I'm just driving when and I have no radio on, nothing. I'm not listening to music. I don't have a podcast on. I'm sitting in my own thoughts and just going through it. And when it happens, brother, it is like a flood. Dude.
Right, okay.
Like even this past 3 weeks, man, I did an open mic in Atlantic City. I was bombing, and then I had one good set on a Wednesday, and I'm driving down to Atlantic City, no music on, no podcast, nothing. I had work that day, so I was, you know, listening to some podcasts and shit. And I'm driving down to Atlantic City, and I had a creative epiphany on. I took old jokes that I had, and I was like, okay, get rid of this, get to the fucking point. And dude, I had the cleanest set I've ever had in my life. It was fucking killer,
do you
bro.
record yourself while you're up there, so you are able to watch and see like, you know, how everything went?
It is the most cringy thing ever, dude. I have to fucking I have to force myself to do it, but like, oh brother, is it so fucking cringy, man? I hate it. But
you know,
it's
like now you said you had jobs driving around, and that just reminded me of this random fucking story. My first job where I had driving around was at Overhead Door. You put garage doors in. This dude that was driving with me was so racist, and he didn't even like know. He's driving with me, and he's telling me like, he's like, yeah, when I was going to college, I had a full scholarship to play baseball, and my fucking dad told me I couldn't do it, and that made me turn into what I'm doing today. I would have been the people you see on TV right now. He's like, that's like someone telling you, I don't know, like you can't pick vegetables.
Like, bro, I'm working with you.
He told me that, yeah. Bro, that was like, I was like, is this just like what these kind of people do when they drive? I was like, what the fuck is this?
Fucking characters, man. And I've always, I'm a mechanic by trade, so I've always like worked in shops and just shop talk, and then, and it's like the stories you hear out of these guys and the personalities that you come around. It's like it's what molded me to who I am today, dude. I tell people, I'm like, bro, I could cut a conversation up with anybody. Like what we were talking about people not realizing why they had a good time. When I watch people host, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I'll see hosts that are like, come on, guys, you got to give me more energy.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, no, dude, give them a reason to give you energy. Like, you can ask for it. Don't get me wrong. Like, in the beginning, like, at the beginning of the night, I'll do it like, welcome to Miss Seeley's Blues, like, make some fucking noise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if it's like, I'm like, no, make some fucking noise. But, like,
Yeah.
I get hype.
Right.
Like, and when you see me get hype, it's like, you not like, come on, you got to do better than that, please.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what the
yeah.
fuck? Like,
Yeah.
and we would do a mixed open mic, and some of the people that are coming to stage, we all know it's like, but
Yeah, bro, I've seen some clips. I don't want to be mean, but yeah, I've seen some clips.
That's why it's an open mic, dude. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, I mean, I've been to open mics before with music, and like, there's those people that go up there, and you're just like,
but in that, as a host, I always try to give constructive criticism to people. Not everybody can take it. Some people are going to be like, well, actually, I think, like,
Yeah.
I've had people send me clips of them doing stand-up. Now, mind you, I'm nobody in the stand-up world other than I run shows, but I'm not, like, a seasoned vet comedian where I'm like, you could do this, but I'll give you advice based on what I've learned, and then they'll just argue back at me, and I'm like, what? Then don't send me shit, dude.
Exactly.
Like, they're like, comedy can be anything, actually. I'm like, all right, like...
All right, to like close this out, I want to say like, I want to know like, where do you see it heading? Like, what's your plan for like, this year? What are you forming really?
So, my plan for this year, what I'm working on currently, is the transition. Obviously, at one point I had, Van Jam. We were doing the open mics, and now it's just a comedy show. Like I've transitioned into that. I have a group of comedians who were regulars at the open mic. They're up and coming. Like these guys, I mean, I've literally watched them from their first time on stage to I'm giving them 15-minute sets at just a comedy show, and they're fucking murdering.
Okay.
And I'm like, when I seen that, and I know that I played a part in it, not writing their comedy, but just facilitating a space for it to happen.
Yeah.
Bro, there is nothing that makes me happier, man. I was like, dude, I'm watching these guys kill, and I'm like, this is fucking great, dude. Like, that right there just fucking supercharged me. So I have like a group chat with all of them, and I told them, I'm like, dude, we need to stick together as a collective, right? If you guys can help me with these comedy shows, you'll get stage time. I'll give you, you know what I mean? I'll give you stage time, this and that. But if that starts to make money, then we can do things like we all have podcast ideas. We all have I have a shit ton of really nice podcasting equipment. I'm like, dude, if we could use this to pay for a space where we can all go and just be, and then do a writer's table where we can sit and just like, hey, Tuesday we're going to meet up here and we're just going to, any premises that you've written during the week, throw them out there and we'll see if we can come up with some punchlines for it. And shit like that, dude. If we could stick together.
Yeah, that's cool. Once you surround yourself with it, like it's all you do, like
dude,
that's
constantly
when it takes
we'll
off.
do bits on stage and like somebody will be like, hey, I thought of a really good idea, like how to finish that bit, and they'll just give you like, right, and I'm like, oh shit,
yeah.
And they're like, use it or not, it's like an unspoken, like, I'm not giving this to you and you have to use it, but if you like it, it's just an idea,
right?
It's just all ideas, man. It's just feeding ideas, and it's like,
so that's cool. Like getting into like the podcast, that's a way to make really big money.
Yeah.
Let's say you start that, right? Like, let's say 5 years down the line, you're making great money. You guys are doing it successfully. Is there something like in your future where you want to have your own, what's it called? Like your venue? Or is that like not really?
It's definitely a thought.
Okay.
The only thing that scares me is knowing how. What I won't do again is anything that's going to take away from my comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
So,
right.
if I was in a position to get a venue and we could run shows out of it, but I had a good team,
You
and
don't
I
need
had
like a manager.
exactly, I could still do my thing, but the venue, 100%, I would love to do that.
Right.
what I don't want to do is sacrifice my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Because the more you only have 100%, if you're putting 60% towards
it's
this, you can only.
And that's kind of what what had happened through the past couple of years, and I don't regret it. You know what I mean? It was a learning experience. It's great, dude. It's like, hey, dude, we tried something. You know what I mean? And now it's like, now I know where I want to be hyper focused on the comedy aspect, and that's where I want to fucking be with it. And it's like, so I would say, like 5-year goal would be just to fucking grow what I'm doing and keep working on the craft and keep, this comedy show that I have going now, I want it to kind of run almost automated. Like everybody knows. I want it to be so long that everybody knows every second and fourth Friday there's a comedy show in Turnersville. Right. There's comedy in South Jersey. That's my goal. Okay. I want people to fucking know that there's comedy in South Jersey and there's something something to do different on a Friday night than just go sit at a bar and like whatever.
Gotcha.
And if that can happen and I can keep doing my shit and travel a little bit and do some comedy in different places, dude, I'll be happy. That's my goal, man. That's the dream right there, bro. Like,
so we did what we attempted to do was play the game and have a conversation. But I'm gonna be honest, this game was so ass. I could not focus on talking. This game is just hard to move. I can't see. I don't know if it's my RCA television set.
Tough. It's tough.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, this game was a 10.
You got the entertainment series, dude.
Yeah.
This thing was made. It was a gaming TV at the time, bro.
This was supposed to be the shit. But let's just. I guess if you have your social media on hand, just let them know where to follow you.
You can follow me on social media at cool_hand_Drew, or Andrew Sherritt's on Facebook. I post stuff there too. The shows are every second and fourth Friday in Turnersville, 198 Fries Mill Road. It's Miss Seeley's Blues is the venue. Just a Comedy Show is the name of the show.
We'll put the links. Everything is going to be in the description. So click show more and you'll be able to get to all his socials and all that. Please subscribe. Please go follow him on IG.
Subscribe, man.
Yeah.
I want to come back and do this, so you motherfuckers need to subscribe.
Thank you, bro.
Hell yeah, bro. This shit was fun.